in Hajj we have what is known as Mawaqit, and we have time Mawaqit and we have place Mawaqit. Can you please explain what, first of all, miqat is and what the times and the places are? We did touch up briefly upon them last episode. But what is time miqat and what is the place miqat?
Inshallah. Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ba'd. So after we have decided the type of Hajj that we are going to make, we are going to now talk about the place where I'm going to start everything, start my journey. Of course, our journey starts from our homes and packing our suitcases and whatnot and getting our minds ready and whatnot, but the actual pilgrimage itself will start at a particular place. Now, as you rightly mentioned, there are the term Mawaqit. It comes from the Arabic waqt, from the word means time. However, with regards to Hajj, there are two understandings with regards to the time. It's not only time, but also a place. So you have something called a miqat. This is to do with the place that a person will assume their ihram. First and foremost, we'll talk about the timing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, Al-Hajju ashhurun ma'lumat, that Hajj are specific and known months. So we know that Hajj is, as we mentioned, I think in the previous show, it starts from the beginning of Shawwal, Dhul Qa'dah, and the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. This is the time frame that a person can assume there, these are the sacred months. These are the sacred months of Hajj, we should say like this. There is a difference in opinion as to does it extend up to the end of Dhul Hijjah, but again, for the purposes of our learning process, and we want to respect all opinions, I could mention 3, 4, 5, 6 opinions, and the person goes away as more confused than they were before. So it's important for us to mention opinion and then we build upon that.
Yeah.
And as a side point, barakallahu feek, that fiqh is about building. Fiqh is building. For you to have a good strong foundation, it means that you will take one opinion that you will follow and you will understand that and you will worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala according to that. And then you'll take the next step. And then after that, if you feel you're at a level where you can discuss evidences and you can discuss with scholars and imams to take things further, maybe we can look at something else. Okay, this is for another time. But our show here is to make things easy for the viewers, that when they undertake this journey, inshallah ta'ala, things are made very simple for them, bi'idhnillah. So the miqat or the mawaqit is two types, time and place. We're talking about the time now. So the miqat of the time, or zamaniyya, as they say in Arabic, is the months of Shawwal and Dhul Qa'dah and the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. Okay, now we've got that out of the way. We're talking about now the place. So I know when I'm going to do it, I want to know where I'm going to do it. When and where. What is the where? Here we have 5 different places that a person can assume their ihram from. They will enter the state of ihram to perform their pilgrimage. And they are placed all around Mecca. So if you can imagine Mecca in the middle, and these places where you will assume your ihram are dotted around Mecca. So we'll take them one by one, inshallah ta'ala, and explain what they are. The first one is called Dhul Hilayfa, and this is the miqat for the people of Medina, and this is where the Prophet ﷺ assumed his ihram from, a place called Dhul Hilayfa. What does the word Dhul Hilayfa mean? The word Dhul Hilayfa, and this is something that maybe not many people know about. In fact, Dhu means ownership, or to have of something. Hulayfa is in fact the way of saying it is the name of a tree that was in a wadi, is like a valley. This place, the miqat of Dhul Hilayfa, is in a valley, and that the Prophet ﷺ would assume his ihram from a place close to a tree. Not that it has to be from that tree, of course it does not. This tree is called Halfa. But the area was then given a name of Dhul Hilayfa, the place of that small tree. It is given other names in modern day. Some people call it Abiyar Ali, attributing it to something else. But even the signs that you see around the area, you'll say the miqat of Dhul Hilayfa. And this is for the people of Medina, or anybody coming north of Medina. This is approximately 420 kilometers from Medina to Mecca. You assume your ihram from this place, and then you make your way to Mecca. This is the first miqat. The second miqat is called Al-Juhfa. However, this area, Al-Juhfa, is a place which is, if you can say, nobody's there. There's nothing there now. In fact, most people, they go to a place called Rabigh. Rabigh is about 22 or about 30 kilometers away from Juhfa. And there's a masjid there, there's a place, and they can assume their ihram from there. And that is approximately 186 kilometers to Mecca. So this is the second miqat. Juhfa is about 220 kilometers to Mecca. The third one is Yalamlam. And Yalamlam is the southernest miqat from Mecca. And that's about 120 kilometers to Mecca. And this is for the people of Yemen. So if you're in the Yemen area and any south, they would assume the ihram from this place, Yalamlam, and then make their way to Mecca. And then you have a place called Qarn al-Manazil, which is the closest of all the miqat to Mecca, which is approximately 85-90 kilometers away from Mecca. These four Mawaqit are mentioned in the hadith of Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, which is a hadith found in Al-Bukhari, in which the Prophet ﷺ, and this is the translation of the meaning, that these Mawaqit are for those people that are living there and anyone who passes them by, meaning that they will assume their ihram from there. Liman arad al-Hajj wal-Umrah. Whoever intends to make Hajj or Umrah and you pass this miqat, you have to assume ihram from there, not beyond it, from here, and then you make your way. There is a fifth one, which is called Dhatu Irq. And this place is found in another hadith. And it is narrated by Aisha radiallahu anha that the Prophet ﷺ designated this particular miqat as about 100 kilometers away from Mecca for the people of Iraq. However, this place, it's not used. There's no roads to it or anything like that. So there are 5 mawaqit, but only 4 that are actually used. If a person intends to make their Hajj or Umrah and they live beyond these areas and have to pass by, they will stop at this place and they assume their ihram from this particular place.
Allah. Now they have to stop, Sheikhna, or can they, for example, what if they're flying in to Mecca? How would they make that stop, for example?
Okay, very good. So a lot of people, they will fly straight into Jeddah.
Yes.
If you're coming from the north of Saudi Arabia, for example. So what am I supposed to do? They will pass over Dhul Hulayfa. So the advice is that you're ready in the clothes, for the males that is, the white, the izar and the rida, the 2 white sheets. You're ready on the plane, ready. And you can ask the pilot when you're getting close to a particular area, when you should assume your ihram. If it's an airline which has that knowledge, they can inform you that you should assume your ihram from now. And then you can assume your ihram on the plane. If you're making Hajj or Umrah, you say Labbaik Umrah or Labbaik Hajj, whatever the case may be, and you can assume your ihram even when you're in the airplane.
MashaAllah. So do these mawaqit, do they go by different names? I know we mentioned 1 or 2 of them, but do the other mawaqit have different names as well, or is it just those 2 miqats that have different names that we mentioned?
Yeah, so Yalamlam is known as Yalamlam. It still remains the name for the people of Yemen. As for Juhfa, it is a place that nobody goes there anymore. There's nothing there for you to assume your ihram, as it were. So people go to a place called Rabigh. That place it's still complete. You can still assume your ihram from that place for the people of Sham and whatnot. That's a different place and has a different name. As for the others, Qarn al-Manazil, and then it has a tariq or a road called Tariq al-Sayl that has a well-known famous road that is goes to Qarn al-Manazil. That's on the people of Najd, from Riyadh and those areas. They would pass by this particular miqat. So apart from those other 2, the other miqats they have kept their names. No.
What is the difference between these mawaqit, or if there is a difference, or is it just based upon whichever direction the person is coming from?
Yeah, it's completely dependent on locality, wherever you're coming from. So it's not say, oh, I'm living in Yemen, for example, and I really want to assume my ihram from the miqat of the people of Medina Dhul Hulayfa, because that's where the Prophet ﷺ assumed his ihram from. It was just due to locality. That's where he ﷺ used to live in Medina. So there's no like fadila or virtue or blessing of Dhul Hulayfa or Abyar Ali over the one in Yalamlam, over the south. Absolutely no virtue of one over the other. They're all the same. It's just depending on what direction that you are coming from. Now this is of course for the people who are living beyond. If you can imagine, Mecca is in the center, and then you can put dots where these particular Mawaqit are, and you draw a line from each of them, okay? You'd have this kind of shape. Those people who are living beyond that, either you pass by the miqat itself, if it's easier for you to do, or let's say for example, I'm living in a place where I'm halfway between Qarn al-Manazil and Dhul Hulayfa. I'm kind of living in the middle. Do I have to go to this place? If I drew a line between those two places, I could assume my ihram from that. Don't go beyond that line. So from that line in the middle, I could assume my ihram from there, hypothetically.
No.
Okay? So this is how it works. It's not so you have to be at that place. As long as you don't go beyond that boundary, then you can assume your ihram from those places, wherever you are.
MashaAllah.